So the RIC Centre is a research and development centre and also a charity that specialises in exploring and developing the ways in which we can use new media and multimedia and ICT to help improve the quality of life of people with a learning disability. The key programme of work that we've developed, we've been around since 2004, is what we call multimedia advocacy. That's explained in quite a lot of detail at our multimedia advocacy website, which is at www.multimediaadvocacy.com. But the key thing I'd say multimedia advocacy is about people with an intellectual disability being supported and encouraged to use cameras, computers, microphones, even pens, papers, objects, all the different things that they can use to communicate and to capture that using the multimedia technologies that we have at our disposal. The cameras, the recorders, and the simple authoring tools that are becoming more and more available and easy to use. Why use multimedia advocacy? Well, it's a great way to organise your thoughts. It's a great way to reinforce your memory and help you to remember things. It's a great way to communicate, particularly if you have difficulty and you're challenged with ordinary speech. All of us use multimedia advocacy because we carry around these things and they've got cameras on. And this is what we're all doing. We all use it to organise our thoughts. I've got Outlook Express on my phone. I've got a diary. I've got a to-do list. They all help me to organise my thoughts and organise my life. It's a convenience for me, but if you have an intellectual disability, it could be more than a convenience. It could help you to join in, to participate and be included, and make a big step change in the way in which you can engage with your community and be a part of the broader world in which you live. So that's what the RIC Centre is all about. We're a small cluster, group of people, and all of our power resides in the way in which we work with other people. Principally people with a learning disability, who we see as co-researchers and co-developers, but also the people who support them, both informally as parents and carers and friends, and the people who support them professionally, who come from all these different vertically organised sectors of our society, of our state. How can we join them all up so that they really support me most effectively? Well, multimedia advocacy is another tool for that as well. If I've got my life captured and organised around my personal portfolio, then perhaps when I go to a doctor, I can show it to a doctor. When I go to see a speech and language therapist, I can show it to a speech and language therapist. If a speech and language therapist has a message for my doctor, they can tell it to me using the camera, and I can share it with the doctor. I'm the person who controls the way all the people who support me connect up, because I'm using multimedia. So that's the vision, if you like, of multimedia advocacy in action for people with learning disabilities. When we first started doing this, not everybody had a mobile phone in the West. Not everybody had a camera on their mobile phone. The cameras didn't record video with sound. But actually, nowadays, increasingly, everybody does have that tool. And what we were interested in is, as these tools become more and more common, as they come away from the desktop and go into people's pockets, as they're in homes, places of work, facilities and services, then why not get them into the services for people with learning disabilities and look at how they can really improve self-advocacy and communication and how they can be used as a model of kind of person-centred ways of work. In other words, giving someone the control to run their lives from their own centre. That's what we see as the future of new media technology, and it just doesn't seem too far-fetched because, you know, everybody I know has a Facebook account. Do you know what I mean? So we're playing into the way in which the world is already working. It's the developed world, but it's also the developing world. I've explained that, in a way, the Living Lab idea was kind of an umbrella idea that helped us raise funds and build networks. 5 years on, we've got this really rich network of contacts and connections, but quite anarchic, not very organised. And we're now looking at how best we can pull that network into some focus, all those different pockets of activity, and come up with a sustainable way to take it forward. Now the incubation money that we secured from corporate sponsors is beginning to run out. So I'm very impressed with your plans for a Living Lab, not least because at the top of your list is exploring sustainable models. So from the start, you're going to be thinking about how this is going to run on. I think we could probably learn a lot from each other, and I'm really interested in seeing how the FEVAS Living Lab evolves and where it goes. And I'd really like to be one of the partners here as the RIC Centre organisation. I'd say my key message to you as you start your Living Lab is please work with the RIC Centre to help put the people with intellectual disabilities at the centre of that endeavour. And we'll share with you what we've learned about how to really involve people using multimedia as the tool, as the platform to engage people with learning disabilities around the whole process of exploration and engaging with these new technologies. I'm sure you had that as part of your agenda, but I think we can share what we've learned from trying to do that. For me, the key strength of the Living Lab that we have is the way in which we've been able to really involve people and learn from them and learn with them. So that would be my main advice, really, for anybody thinking of working up a Living Lab. But I think you're really tuned in coming up with this concept. I'm really impressed with the shape of it, and I wish you all the best and look forward to working with you as part of the FEVAS Living Lab experiment.